My name is Reed Yobe. There's a video that I released when I was talking about girls, and I said it is the responsibility of a parent to prepare the daughter for marriage. In this video, I'm going to be talking about boys, and I repeat my statement and I'm saying it is the responsibility of a parent to prepare the son for marriage. And the main reason I suggest that parents prepare their children for a marriage is because children don't know what's good for them. They are just children. But you see, the problem that we have here is that, and I mentioned this is also even regarding girls. What I said here is that if you leave your child to just live his life the way he feels like, there are certain decisions that he might make which will end up affecting and messing up his whole future. And when the child makes those decisions and implements them, the child will not be aware that the things that he is doing will affect him negatively in future. And by the time they're going to realize the consequences of his own decisions, it will be too late for him to do anything about it. Some of them don't even realize that maybe the problems that they're facing were caused by the decision that they made when they were young. So that's why you should step in as a parent and help in preparing your son for marriage. So the first thing that you must do before you even attempt to prepare your child for marriage is to have a picture in your head of the kind of a man that you would want your son to be as far as marriage is concerned. You have to ask yourself some questions. What will my son be expected to be and to do when he gets married? So what can I do now so that when the time comes for my child to get married, he will be the kind of a man that I would love him to be and do what I expect him to do, or rather what he is expected to do. That will also enable him to enjoy his marriage. And you must know that marriage involves not just two people, but if God is to bless them with children, they will have children also. And there are two families that are also connected to that couple that might be affected negatively or positively by how these two will be relating. There are men that are failing right now, and there are men that are doing well as far as marriages are concerned. And we know the reasons why. As a parent, you must know the reasons why. What makes a good man? What makes a bad man? Like I said, when children are young, they don't know what's good for them. There are certain things that children would love to do, which may end up having negative effects on their lives as time progresses. And the children will not know this. There are decisions that children make that affect their future. So that's when you step in as a parent and be strict to ensure that they don't do certain things and they do certain things. They don't behave in certain manners and they also behave in certain manners, because you'll be monitoring their behavior as a parent. Just like going to school, you send your children to school. They don't decide to go to school, but you send them and you know that they must start early. But by the time they must start to go to school, they are not even thinking about school. They don't even know that there is something called school and its significance. But you step in as a parent and you send your child to school and you monitor your child to ensure that he or she does what they are supposed to do. You don't stop monitoring your children. As they grow up, you be there. But there comes a time in life when you will stop. But you only stop when they are old enough to realize the significance of that which you have started in their lives. So the same applies also to behavior and character. I said in the other video that character is not something that someone is born with, but it's something that someone has to forge. So you as a parent, you can step in to forge in character into your child, to force your child to behave in a certain manner, to control and to monitor your child. There are quite a number of things that we can list which are not good for your child, that you must watch out so that he doesn't do, because he ends up having certain habits that will affect him in the future. Making sure that your child does not involve himself with girls in a manner that is not right, because you know that once he starts that, he might end up having a habit that is going to affect him when he gets married and he starts cheating on his wife and sleeping around with a number of women. You monitor your child to ensure that he doesn't involve himself with maybe drinking or smoking or even doing drugs. You have to be strict with your child, very strict. You don't give freedom to your child. You don't let your child decide what they want because they don't know what's good for them. You have to be tough on your child. But this is for their own good. A lot of people think they're being nice, they're being good to their children, but they're actually killing them and robbing them of a future that they are supposed to have. When you give your child freedom, you're actually robbing your child of a good future that they are supposed to have. Rather, you must be strict with your child. You know things that are not supposed to be done. You must keep your child from all those things. And you know also there are certain things that your child is supposed to do which are good. But at this point in time, because it's just a child, he might not like those things. For instance, you have to train your child to be able to do house chores, even if you've got daughters, even if you've got a maid, even if your wife can do certain things, but you have to train your child to do dishes. He is a boy, but you must teach him to do dishes. You must teach him to cook. You must teach him to wash. You must teach him to iron his own clothes. You must teach him to look after himself. You must teach him to help others. So even if there is a maid in the house that you are paying, you still must teach and train your child to help that maid. When he grows up, he will know how to help a woman and to be helpful and not abusive and not see women as, or rather regard them as maids that should just be doing things for him. You must teach your child to have values and to have principles and to have self-control. What makes up a good man? You must ask yourself those questions. What makes up a good man? And then you have to ask yourself some serious questions. What can I do in order for my child to become that? And you have to start early. You have to start early. Good people are not born. They are made through training. You have to think. You can think, sit down and think, what kind of a person do I want my son to be? You can even write down a list of attributes of character that you want your son to have. What kind of a man do you want him to be? And you train him in that particular area, and he will become exactly that. You control, you monitor your child. By the time he's old and you leave him to live his life the way he wants, he won't depart from the way that you trained him. That's something practical that is written in the Bible. The Bible says, train a child in a way that he should go, and when he grows up, he will not depart from it. You want your son to be a good man that is going to treat someone's daughter well and be loving and be caring. And a man that is going to train his own children also to become good people. Because whatever you give to your child, they'll pass it on. The way you treat your child is exactly how they're going to treat their own children as well. The other thing that I encourage you to do is that, of course, you send your child to school and you expect him to maybe choose a career for himself when he is now old enough. And normally when it comes to choice of career, he does it for himself because he'll be old enough to do that. Normally when the time for him to do that comes, he will be old enough to choose his career of his own. But before that, there is something that you must already train your child to do. You must think of something. You must think of some skills, and you can start with what you are doing yourself. Start with what you're doing yourself. What are you doing? What is your source of income? If you are a farmer, of course, your child is going to school during weekends, or when your child is not doing homework, or maybe during holiday, they should be helping out in the farm. And maybe you can allocate some beds, or maybe if it's vegetables that you're growing, or I don't care what you're doing. Just make sure that your child has a portion of something that he can also do and make money as far as what you yourself are doing. If you're a motor mechanic, you must be your child must be there as you fix those cars, and you train your child, and you must teach him to make money. And if he starts making money, of course, that's another area also that you have to be very careful about. You can't just give your children money, but you still must teach him how to make money. And you can even open a bank account for your child and keep money for him, maybe in a savings account that you give to that child when he is old enough. Or the other thing that you can do also, you must train your child also on how to use money, on how to spend money, and how to be responsible. But still, you have to monitor him. Make sure that maybe his bank account is connected maybe to your phone, so that you can sometimes send him with his own card to say, go and buy your own school fees, uniform, go and buy your own stationery, go and buy, maybe pay your own school fees, and try to monitor how he uses his own money. Be there and train your child to be responsible, so that when he grows up and becomes a man, gets married, he already knows how to be responsible and how to use money. So we want a situation where we train the son to become a very good man that is going to be loving and caring to the woman that he's going to get married to, but also at the same time, he should be very supportive and be able to protect and provide for his family. But not forgetting that regardless of how hard he works, he must still also be in the house and try to be gentle to the woman that he loves and help out with the chores. He can if you train him in that particular area. That's what I just thought of sharing with you. My name is Reed Yobe. Thank you. My name